What's up, y'all? We're gonna get started in a few seconds. About another after the song's off, a couple minutes. We talk about narcissistic people and dating them and overcoming after dating them today. So give it a few more minutes. We're gonna jump on in today. How you doing? Hope you call in today. We talking about these narcissistic folks. I'm good. I'm good. We're about to get in this live stream. And I don't know if you want to ask any questions down there in the live chat, but you're more free to welcome to call in the few when I start taking calls, though, so we can get a woman's perspective on dating narcissistic men or dating narcissistic women. So I know my boy Mike gonna call today, so we can, understand each other's experience of dating narcissistic people. We get started in about 2 minutes. I know we got three people in the building, so that's pretty good right now. It's good enough to get it started and make sure we, quarantining right now and getting our minds right. Sometimes this pandemic is the perfect time for us to realize who we are and what we are and understand, what our purpose is in life. So, yep. It's all about, just self-improvement. I always tell you guys, it's you versus you, plan, purpose, program. And a lot of times we off our purpose because we are dealing with narcissistic people in our life. And we got to get rid of the narcissistic people to be better for ourselves, So this is a very important live stream, guys, because it's a lot of situations when we don't even know that we're dealing with people like this. So with that being said, get started, and I know everybody catch the intro that be coming in and then catch the playback or whatever. But the first thing I want to talk about when you deal with a narcissistic person is pretty much their lying. They always have a story to tell you. But most of the time, before the lies even start, you kind of get drawn in because you kind of attracted to them, and their attraction is pretty much part of their power. And on top of their attraction, their lies and their stories are another thing that will you in. And also, another thing, they have a great way of having companionship before you find out the multiple personality disorder that they may have. And a lot of them do have a multiple personality disorder. It's, something not always right there with their oxytocin, and they get into your mind and get into your, and it's always, you got to always, I would say, be the best version of you. To defend anything in your life, you got to be the best version of yourself. But the first thing they would get you with is the lies and the story. The next thing they would get you with the gaslighting. They will always turn everything around on you and make it seem like it's your fault. It's your fault because this happened. It's your fault because that happened. And it always going to be like that. It's never going to be, which brings me to number 3, they're never going to take accountability of what they done. And this is why in the red pill community, a lot of the red pill guys believe it's more narcissistic women than men, because society does not hold a woman accountable most of the time. Because if you have a baby by a woman, you got to pay child support. If you got to, if you get married to her, she can take half your stuff. Society allow women sometimes to get away with these laws, and some women are good I mean, it's a lot of women out there that won't take advantage of these laws, but it's a lot of women out there that will take advantage of the laws and have no accountability, because a man is always accountable for his actions no matter what, or what he does as a man. Not saying all men are accountable, because they're not. But when that Titanic was happening and that ship was sinking, they said women and children on the boat and the men got to fend for themselves. So that's no different than life in general. Like, a man make a mistake in life, he has to pay for it 10 times more than a woman have to pay for it. If a man owe child support, they coming after him. A woman owe child support, they might even give a slap on the wrist. A woman can even say she got a rape charge, a man, falsely rape charge a man, and find out it's false, and the court don't even punish her for it. So no accountability, no matter if it's man or woman. But most narcissistic people have no accountability. I know that's a little tangent, guys, but I had to be honest about how I feel. Like, I feel like it's more narcissistic women in the world than men, because they know they can get away with it. But on the other hand, it go hand in hand with this situation. So number 4, it's all about them. Like, they are very conceited, and they always want things to go their way. I was married to one that want everything to go her way. And I remember one time she was like, just do as I say. Like, who the hell are you? You know what I'm saying? They want things to go their way. It's all about them. And they always want the center of attention to be on them. And they do tactics like they'll cut off their friends so you don't have friends. And if you don't have friends, then they'll sit there. Well, when they cut off their friends, they expect you to cut off your life, because everything's about them. They're the center of attention. And then they want you to drive and feed off. They feed off of if you give them all the attention, because at the end of the day, they know they got you in the long run. Because if they have you in the long run, they know deep down inside that they give you the sexually, they give you the sexual desires that you may want as a man or a woman. Then they got you all to themselves. Then they can start their fuckery, because they never satisfied, they never happy. Mind games is something that they love to do. They basically sucking your soul all the way in, be honest, so you can sit there and take it, and then eventually they'll become something else. So another thing, on top of it's all about them, you will never have closure with a narcissistic person. A narcissistic person. What's up, Brown Hornet? Stack Attack Sundays, right? A narcissistic person would never give you closure, because at the end of the day, they will always make it seem like it's your fault in a relationship. They'll turn around on you with the gaslighting, and then at the end of the day, you will see so many good qualities in that person. You will actually be like, you know what? This person got good qualities, but they just won't never turn a corner. And that's the thing that keep you intrigued and keep you want to be with them, because they never do turn the corner. They just pretty much stay in that gaslighting stage, and you sit there and thinking that they're going to change, and they never do. And sometimes people be with these people for 30, 40 years, and knowing they're not good for them, but they feel like after so long they didn't mess with them, they didn't destroy who they are for so long, they don't even have confidence to go along and be who they want to be. And then, which brings me to number 6. They're always in competition with you, and they always jealous. So, like I said, they got to be a center of attention before, but they're in competition. So if you're doing this, they try to do that. If it's with finances, anything that had competition, they're in competition with you with anything. And they're supposed to be your partner. They're supposed to be moving with you, not moving away from you. So make sure you guys understand that part. Number 7, they always, well, unfortunately, they're the best cheaters in the world. They like to cheat, guys. They like to cheat. They basically cop block a lot on top of the cheating. You know what I'm saying? So they're very manipulative of trying to have their cake and eat it too. They basically, they always accusing you of cheating, but they the ones that's always cheating. So watch that, guys. That's another thing that they do a lot. They're very, very manipulative, and they're very much cheaters as well. Number 8, they always have financial problems. What's up, Q Knox? 100, bro. Um, they basically always, have money problems because they're always here, there, and everywhere, and they don't even understand how to value their own selves, so they can't even value a dollar. They can't look forward to their future because they always trying to keep up with the Joneses. They always got something going on with them. That's one thing I can tell you about it. See Brian Hornet, Q Knox, my boys in here. I'm waiting on Big Rich to jump up in here. Another thing, they're very like I did say it earlier, they're very good with sexual. They're very good at being sexual acts, being sexual people. Um, at the end of the day, they're not a will you in with the sex. And that's another thing that people don't understand about a narcissistic person is the they understand your weak points. That's why when I always tell you guys you versus you plan purpose program, you have to be the best version of you for any type of protection in the world. And especially when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, and especially if they're opposite and they're opposite sex, because at the end of the day, if you're not the best version of you and you pour into somebody, you're gonna feel like, oh my God, this is it. And then once they got that manipulation on you, then they control you like a puppet. And you don't want to be that puppet. You feel me? So a lot of times people don't understand that when a narcissistic person get control of you, that's what they want. They want to pull those strings and make you their puppet. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we don't, we gotta get more into self-improvement. We can't see a nice looking woman or a nice looking man and lose our sense of what we stand for as a man and as a woman. Because at the end of the day, we gotta have boundaries. We must have boundaries, because if we don't have boundaries, a sensible man watches for problems and prepares to meet them. A fool never looks ahead. So when you're dealing with a person with these traits, and the older we get, we realize people have problems. When we was younger, we was a little bit naive, thinking like, this is not a disorder. This is just a person just playing hard to get or acting, just not committing to me. But now, in this day and age, it's more of a disorder. It's more of a disorder that people are dealing with people on an everyday basis. Your fucking boss could be narcissistic. Your school bus driver could be narcissistic. I mean, it's so many narcissistic people in this world. Even people's parents are narcissistic. And you look at your parents when you get older, like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? You could tell they don't take no accountability. They do what the fuck they do what the hell they want to do. And that's why we have to hold ourselves accountable for our own responsibility. Yep, your parents, exactly. Sometimes your own parents could be narcissistic, and it's sad because you feel like you grew up thinking they have the best interest for you, and then you realize that they're basically all about themselves. And then they do know how to use children. They know how to use children for their advantage, and that's another reason why they always say women are the more narcissistic, because when a woman has your seed, she will use your seed against you for her power to make her feel good, and don't care how the child feels. It's only about her, or basically her. And men do it too. They use it more as if I'm gonna use the child to find out what's going on with the woman. So if a woman dating another man, and they're gonna always ask question, interrogate the child. Your mama got somebody over there. So a lot of men use children as well when there's narcissistic behavior, because they always ask the child about what the mother doing, what your mama up to, this and that, and vice versa. Women, they more just do it differently. They do the same thing as men. They might ask if anybody come around, but a lot of times women take the child away from the father to manipulate him even more, even if he even paying child support. Like I had a situation, my ex moved out of state and didn't even tell me, like literally just bounced. Like didn't even tell me. I had to get my lawyer to get her back in state because it was against the law for her to leave the state because we was married and she had to live in a 100-mile radius of me, and she didn't ask permission of the court. She just left the state because she felt like she had the majority of the custody. But in my state, you just can't up and out and leave when a person's paying child support and have visitation rights. You gotta get permission from the court if you leaving because of a job or something. So sometimes, a lot of times, narcissistic people, like I said, they use the kids, they use their attractiveness, they use their sexuality to like always will you in, because a lot of times people don't know you dating one, you don't even know when they're gonna flip that switch. And they wear many masks. So I'm gonna start taking calls. Anybody want to start calling in for the, it's a Q&A. It's free to call in. Just call on in for the next 40 minutes. We're gonna talk about this until 6:00. Dating a narcissistic person, because sometimes people are dating a narcissistic person and they don't even know how to get out of what they, what's going on in their situation. So sometimes, people are hearing this right now. God might have brought you right to the channel to hear to get out your situation, because I'm not gonna lie, when I was dating a narcissistic person, I didn't even know. Like literally, I thought something was wrong with me. It gets so bad, the gaslighting gets so bad that you feel like you're the problem. And sometimes, well, most of the time, you're not the problem if you're dating a narcissistic person. They're the problem. They make you feel like you're the person that's fucking them over when they fucking you over. You just be want to go to sleep in peace at night with them, and then you be something they did, you be apologizing for getting on them, and they did the damn wrongdoing. I mean, I spent many a nights apologizing for something that I didn't did, that's something she did, just so I can have peace in my household. So if you guys had any experiences like that and you want to talk about it, call on in, because I love to hear from you. Also, while we on this topic about, dating a narcissistic person, it's kind of like it's like right now in the social media age, women can move on and serial date men, or men could serial date women and get away with their narcissistic behavior. And it's gonna keep growing. It's gonna be a theme out there that's already should have been out there, but it's gonna keep growing even worse because everybody got a lot of options. You jumped on Tinder, you jump on POF, you jump on Bumble. You can move around with your narcissistic behavior and steal souls. It's a lot of times these narcissistic people are stealing people's souls, and people are taking their lives. People are not wanting to date the other. They want, so I'm not against the man going their own way movement, but sometimes these guys have been raped by these narcissistic women. We don't really put a title on it. 9 times out of 10, if a man goes his own way and don't want to deal with a woman ever again, or a woman don't want to deal with a man ever again, they deal with a narcissistic man or a narcissistic woman. And that's the title of it, of why a man would never trust a woman, or a woman would never trust a man, or give up on dating, period, because it's too many options out here, too many people that these narcissistic people can run their fuckery on and get you in a trauma bond with them. And then next thing you know, you have a soul tie with a person that's crazy. And and then the pullback is the worstest thing. When they pull back from you, you still love them, but at the same time, you see so much potential in them. And at the end of the day, they never going to change. Only way they're going to change if they get real mental help and get psychological help. And actually, they don't, and then these people don't even believe in God. They will put on the front like they believe in God, but they don't believe in God. They believe in their power, or who they can put on their team and do what they got to do to make people feel bad. So, like I said, the phone lines is open. call in. I'm taking calls for the next 40 minutes. Um, so, the number is in the description if you didn't see it. So, make sure you guys are, if you do call in, say what, just keep it. I don't say, just be real about it, because sometimes we need a person's testimony to change a person that's struggling and hurting. Because what happens when you testify what you've been through, you help somebody else not go through what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it helps a person grow instead of not know who they are or not understand that I'm not the only one. Like, it took me to be a manager at my job to understand people's narcissistic behavior, because a lot of times people was basically, everybody's not gonna be gonna grow on what you try to teach them and what you try to show them, and everybody's not gonna respond to it. So I had to understand that when I was managing people, that everybody's not gonna respond to normal everyday stuff. People are gonna really go through situations when they feel like, at the end of the day, you are just being an asshole. I'm gonna put this on my terms. Everything's gonna be on my terms. I'm not really trying to replenish what you're trying to give me to help me in life, and that's managing life, relationships, all that. So, but we go over the list one more time. I want to go over it one more time. If you just tune in, anybody lying, they are very good liars. Narcissistic people are very good liars. Gaslighting, they do that. They always play the victim. They always turn it always on you. So if you call them out on their bullshit, they always gonna always say it's your fault. It's your fault. No accountability. This is one reason why I say no accountability makes me feel like more women than men is on it. So we got a call coming in. Hello?
Hello?
What's going on?
Hey, what's up? Happy Sunday. Self-Care Sunday.
Stack Attack Sundays. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you think about the topic today?
It's heavy. It's a lot of them out here, definitely. I've experienced 2 narcissists in my life. Dating one, and I have a parent that's one.
A parent? Damn.
Yeah.
So what you think is worse, a woman narcissistic or a man narcissistic person?
I would have to say probably a woman, because from different stories that I've heard and what I've went through with dating a male, I feel like the woman has more so much of a pull, especially because she can go in and be like, oh, let's do this, let's go, let's have a kid, let's get, so she knows that what she's doing at the end of the day. And like you said, a lot of women have that child as a, when they put the child in front of the face trying to get what they want and trying to use the child against them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times they use a child for their collateral, for their safety net. And then they try to manipulate the child or try to keep the father that not a narcissistic away from the child. So they won't understand, especially if it's a daughter or really more of a daughter. I feel like they attack the daughters more than the sons with it, because what they do with the sons, a lot of times narcissistic women do with the sons, is they try to make the sons the son husbands later. And they try to teach them how to put a woman on a pedestal. And that's why it's a lot of times a lot of men become simps when they get older, because they was dealing with a narcissistic mother. And that kind of
end up with the narcissist.
Yes. Exactly. So, like, well, when you dated, explain like dating a narcissistic man. What traits did you see right away?
Okay, so they do this thing called love bombing where it's like, oh, it's great, like this person is perfect in your eyes. Then it's like the game, like once they have you where they want you, they just remove a mask, like it's like the total switch. Like you be like, what the fuck? This is not the person that I met like a month ago. And I noticed it doesn't take too long if you pay attention, but things go so fast where everything kind of just blends together. But one thing that I noticed how they were toxic. If I had a issue, it was always my fault. Everything would always turn around and be somehow everything would be put back on me. And then I'm just standing there like, wait, what? Wait. And it makes you feel crazy, honestly. It makes you feel like you're going in circles. And that's how I knew, okay, something's up. And thank God for YouTube and just reading a lot of different books. I realized what a narcissist was, and then that's when I realized, okay, I had a parent that was a narcissist.
So, do you believe like with all these dating apps and all these so many options of meeting people, you can meet multiple people daily? Do you feel like narcissists is just gonna? It's just to me, I feel like it's just gonna grow. It's gonna be like people.
Well, I mean, I get, yeah, because in a sense, there's so many people with personality disorders and they don't even know it. And then there's some people like narcissists, they know what they're doing. They like to make you feel like they like to play victim. They're very good at playing victim. So I mean, in a sense, I feel like yes, and sometimes no, because I mean, from what I've read in the research, it's all they already know what they're doing. Any mental disorder you have, they psychologically know what they're doing.
Do you feel like a person that's narcissistic that dates a person that's not narcissistic can make them become narcissistic in the long run? Like you think?
Um, no, not in a sense, but you can develop PTSD from it. I have learned that. Where if you ever in a situation where you just get triggered by things, and then you wonder why am I like your guard is always up. I will say that like you tend to build up a guard with a lot of people, which is a good and bad thing because you don't want everybody in your face. But when somebody is right for you, you don't want to push that person off because the last person, fucked things up, and. So
Yeah, I mean that is. I think that is key to understand that when you do go through a narcissistic person or deal with a person, you have to get the right. I would say I won't. Well, I'll say treatment to overcome it. Like you got to go through. You know, you can't just put it all on you because that's one thing. That's one thing that their strengths are. They put it on you, and my bad. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm sorry. And like you said, put it on you. You have to be easy on yourself because that's their whole motive at the end of the day. They want it to make it seem like it's your fault. And you'll never get no type of closure from somebody with a personality disorder. And that's the hard pill to really swallow because, as human beings, we all need that closure, just to, go on with our lives and stuff. But sometimes closure is just leaving. And that's the best closure you can have with these crazy motherfuckers. Sorry.
I mean, you're right. I mean, they don't really give a chance to have closure. And then that's because they're the victim. They always gonna be the victim, no matter what.
They love being the victim. They love it. They get fuel off of that, honestly, and it's really sick.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes sick because the sad part about it, when you overcome a narcissistic person, you will look at them and they'll still be what they was when you was dating them, and you could tell their tactics. And it's like after you see their tactics and know their tactics, you know that they're about nothing besides manipulation, and they get off about that. And you I hate to say it, you be want to say who's gonna be the next victim. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they always seek out people with low value. They look at people that been through a relationship with women or men, and the wrong thing you could ever say to a person that's a narcissistic or a person period is why are you single? When you say that to a narcissistic person, they get happy because they feel like, okay, he just put me or she just put me on a pedestal. Now I can start my fuckery. Now I can start my lies, my victim mentality of what I've been through in my past of this person did me like this person did me like that. Then they suck you in. You buy that story, you jump in, then you jump in and buy the story, then you jump into bed with them. They know how to satisfy you in the bedroom. Then once they satisfy you in the bedroom, they got you emotionally attached off of feeling sorry for what they've been through. Then,
like you said, the oxytocin, you're already at a high, so
yeah,
you're not seeing. You're like I said, the love bombing. That's love bombing. All of that, what you said, is what they do. That love bombing, and you're just at this high, like you feel good with this person, and then next, down the road, it's like, whoa, shit, what the fuck? The whole script has changed.
I mean, it's just like I remember that movie Enough with J Lo.
Yes, exactly.
He knew how to.
That is a great example of toxic behavior.
Yes, he knew how to draw her in, get her in, got her in, and even paid a dude to kind of. I think he paid a dude to try to disrespect it. He came to the rescue.
To make it seem like
that he's a knight in shining armor, and then next thing you know, he flipped on her. He was very jealous. He was always controlling. I mean, it didn't matter. Like narcissistic people will show their ass in front of your own family. That's another thing about them. They don't have no shame in their game of showing who they really are. When they become that, when they know they got you, they would definitely show you who the hell they are, and then they know they feed off a person's weakness. That's why I always tell guys on my channel and everybody on my channel is you versus you, and you have to be the best version of yourself to deal with anybody else, because a person supposed to compliment you, not complicate you. And when you be real, but when you be real with people and they see the realness and they see that there's no chinks in your armor, then 9 times out of 10, a person is not going to deal with it when you be real and you have boundaries and standards for yourself, man or woman.
That is true.
A lot of times when a person see weakness, they go for the kill. It's just like if you're on your job and you stand to yourself and you're doing this, and you're doing that, and people don't know how to take you. People are going to respect you more. But if you let down your shield as a person and show that you can play around and this and that, then people are going to shit test you more. And same thing with a narcissistic person. They look for weakness in your armor, like I said. They look for kinks in your armor that they can get past to hurt you, stab you, shoot you, cut you. You know what I mean?
Another thing that I forgot. When you share like something like really personal with them, they use that shit against you. Like it's all about an attack. Like they're really trying to bring you down. At the end of the day, a narcissist does not want to see you do better, especially better than them. They want to see you do better. Period. And it's really sad when they see you. They already like I I always tell people always already have a motive and an agenda what they're going to do. How when it comes to having them in your life or trying to get you in their life. And one thing about them, they see something in you. And sometimes, what people don't realize, like you said, that's why you always want to make sure you're the best version of yourself. So you have that if somebody tries to come at you like a narcissist, you know how to handle that and know how to eliminate that before it goes any further. But if they catch you when you're very vulnerable, like I know for me personally, when my dad had passed, that's when I had ended up with a narcissist. And they knew my vulnerability. They knew that I was hurting. So they came in, loved on me, trying to make everything better. I'm on cloud nine. The next thing you know, I'm in hell.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, they will literally find you in a weak position and try to maneuver over that. They try to get what they want from you. They try to sweep you, pretend like they sweeping you off your feet and helping you, but in the long run, they're trying to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And they also, I know I experienced financial difficulties by dealing with my ex, or they don't know how to hold on to a dollar because they feel like they're always spending money for validation. Because I think
literally, yeah, exactly. They put you in a financial hole if you allow them to.
And there's a lot of men, and that's why I say it's more women than men, because a lot of times women will put a man in a financial bond, and he has to recover from being with the narcissistic person or narcissistic woman he was with, and instead of her taking accountability of how she kind of dragged him through the mud financially, she just go on to the next dude and hope he pick up the pieces. And that's,
I don't know, because I agree with you there, but then also with my narcissist, he was the same way with me. Like, I had to literally pay for everything. Next thing I know, I'm helping this motherfucker pay for his bills, and you just look up one day, you're just like, fuck, I wasted a lot of money on this person.
yeah, I mean, they could put you in that trauma bond financially and emotionally. And a lot of people right now are single right now, recovering from it. And that's why a lot of guys that are red pill or men going their own way is feeling like I get the same results out of women. And I feel like the only way women can make a comeback is understanding the red pill knowledge and becoming red pill women. Like, I feel like a woman's father has a lot to make her a great woman. And if women don't have fathers, that destroys them from knowing who they really are, and then they go into that narcissistic social media behavior, and they feel like they can run whatever they want around a man. And then that's why I said, that's why a lot of women, I hate to say it, but I think a lot of men and women are serial daters, because they, you know, they feel like they can do their fuckery here, they can do their fuckery there, and there's no accountability, and they don't want stability. And that's another thing about the financial thing, is they lack stability and responsibility as well, because they don't want to pay the cost to be the boss. They want somebody else to always fix their problems because they always the victim. You know?
Yes.
But they always the victim. Is always your fault. If it didn't go their way, then I'm gonna blame you because you told me this, you told me that. Your advice.
It's like, in a sense, when you get into an argument, it's like you're arguing, like I say, arguing with a child. Like, it's not even worth trying to get your point across with a narcissist, because you'll never win.
Oh yeah, you'll never win. I mean, at the end of the day, the sad part about the narcissistic people are they come in all shapes, sizes, races, colors, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
and it's no way to point it out. You know what I mean? The best way to defend it, like I said, is to be the best version of you. And that's why I always tell people, when you meet people, you teach people how to treat you by telling them who you are and giving them a testimony of how you move and showing them who you are. Because a lot of times people, you know, do the opposite. They want you should always present yourself to a person. That's basically what I'm saying. A lot of times people want, you know, you want you to be vulnerable. You get vulnerable and start telling them all your problems, then they're gonna fit in that costume and wear that mask to play you, to get what they want out of you. So sometimes you can't tell everybody everything when you first start messing with them. You gotta understand their energy. Your energy has to match. If you go in telling people vulnerable things about you, that show you that you're looking for a savior. And a lot of times, like I say, when a narcissist person hear, "Why are you single?" they basically smile because they understand that, okay, I'm about to put this person in the place where I want them to be. I got this person right where I need them to be, and I'm gonna basically run my game on them, and they're gonna feel sorry for me. But on top of that, why they doing that to you? They doing that to maybe two or three other people, and they're cheaters like a motherfucker. A lot of people don't talk about that part about the narcissistic person. You know, they have multiple partners that they're running this game on to keep them, because if they're not getting it from one, they go gaslighting into the other one. You know what I'm saying? You believe that they use multiple tactics on multiple people?
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, when you deal with a person that's not fully themselves, you have to pretty much cut it off. I don't care if they got fat ass, a nice face, big muscles, and ripped abs and all that. But if you know they're not the best version of themselves, if it's too good to be true, it usually is. So, and unfortunately, if it is too good to be true and the energy match, maybe it may work. But if the energy's not there, then it's not going to work. And that's the biggest thing about relationships. You have to relate to the person. If you can't relate to the person, then what's the point in the first place? Like, at the end of the day, you can get off by pleasing your own self. You know, a lot of times people don't understand that relationships are, about relating. Because when you relating with a person, you actually can grow with a person. But when you're not relating with a person, it stops your growth and you become stuck. And a lot of people don't understand that you have to, like I said, you have to understand where to plant that seed and how y'all can let that grow. It's not gonna come overnight, but you gotta have delayed gratification in your relationship as well, by talking about things and seeing if you guys can basically bounce off each other's energy and replenish each other. And that's one thing a narcissistic person don't do. They don't know how to motivate you. They don't know how to look ahead. They never have a plan. They never work on their purpose. And they definitely don't have a goddamn program besides fucking your life up.
That's their plan.
So yeah, so like the parent thing, like you were saying earlier, um, do it make you lose respect for your parent by like knowing what you know now, or do it just make you just like, you know what, I'm just gonna put her in this place and that's where she is? Or how do you deal with that in the long run when you overlook your parents? I know you don't never stop loving your parent, but how you overlook, or do you overlook that you have a narcissistic parent?
I just accept it for what it is. Um, the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I look at it like You know, if I was to have a child, a future daughter, I know, I can at least tell her, or I could tell, someone I'm dealing with. Because a lot of people don't. One thing you want to do when you are in a relationship with somebody, or about to get in a relationship with somebody, you want to tell them, hey, this is how one of my family members is, just let you know. You want to make sure you know who they are, so when the person that you're bringing in your life and they meet them, like, okay, I see what you're saying. Just to give them a heads up. And then for me personally, I just feel like it just made me more wiser and just know that I'm not crazy, and it just really made me more of a big advocate on trying to get my mental health right, and I make sure everybody also is in tune with their mental health. And honestly, it brought me closer to, like, random people will come up to me. I don't know if it's my aura, but I get a lot of random women come up to me and they come up with problems like, oh, my mom, like they have mom issues. Yes, it's my mom. She's a narcissist. And they just come up to me and they tell me their problems, and then I just tell them, oh, well, this is how I deal with it. And I'll be vulnerable and I tell them, my situation with my mom. They're like, wow, okay. And then it's just like we're bouncing back off of each other. So I look at it as, God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. So I just put her in her place. That's my mom. At the end of the day, I still love her, but I know who she is. I know what a snake is, and that's it. It is what it is. I don't allow it to affect me like I used to anymore.
I mean, that's facts. I mean, we can go in this world wishing that our parents is like this and our parents is like that, but we can't choose who our parents are. And another thing is being a parent, your children didn't ask to be here. So sometimes that's why I always tell guys to be the best version of yourselves, because the best version of yourself is you take care of your responsibilities and understanding where you came from. You can't help who your parents is, but you can control your legacy to pass down to your children, because at some point everybody got to break a cycle in their family, and they got to understand when you break that cycle it makes it better for the next generation, because children are the product of what they see. Because if they see greatness, they gonna want to be great. They see you being struggling. They see you doing, God knows what with God knows who. And if it's always negative, they're gonna just be multiplying to that negative as well. It's just like Gremlins. I mean, if you've seen the movie Gremlin, you had Gizmo, the one good Gremlin, and then the other ones was all messed up. And sometimes in the black community, unfortunately, we have multiple killers raising killers, multiple single mothers raising single mothers. I mean, multiple uh simp ass niggas, like I said before. Unfortunately, a narcissistic woman creates simp ass behavior from a man. They make a man put a woman on a pedestal, not have no accountability, deal with multiple women with no accountability, and feel like their dollar is going to stretch them to keep the woman. They leave with their wallet, and unfortunately, it always kind of end up. The best way to recover from any situation in your life is look yourself in the mirror, accept what you can't change about yourself, and accept the things that you can change and start working on it. No matter who you go through, and then sometimes it's all like you said. It's all about a test. It's all about your test and your testimony to go through dealing with a narcissistic person and recovering from it. Because at the end of the day, nobody. I can't tell you how to be you. You can't tell me how to be me. But we can tell each other how to work on ourselves to be the best version of ourselves, and that's what it's all about. Because when people don't do that, don't put in the work, they always point the finger. It's your fault, your fault. But no, why don't you look in the mirror and say it's my fault? You know what I'm saying? That's what I always try to tell people is, if you got air to breathe, take advantage of it. So moving forward, how do you when you date or whatever or intertwine with people, what what is one of the first things you notice of who to give your energy to and who not to give your energy to? What do you use after dealing with dealing with once you overcome a narcissistic person? I think you've become more self aware of how to set up your boundaries better. How do you do that?
Um, just ask questions, so, mainly, um, the main question, what was your childhood like? Childhood, how people grew up, tells a lot about them. And I can really just go off the energy really well. I've always had, but I feel like after going through what I went through, I can really be more in tune with people's energy. And since I don't allow a lot of people in my space, a lot of people won't either they'll try to come approach me on some bullshit and then I just shut it down right there and they're like, oh, well, I ain't fucking with her. Or they just simply stay away because my aura just radiates so much greatness where they feel like where their insecurity kind of kicks in like, oh no, I ain't gonna go in there and mess with her. You know what I'm saying? So it's kinda like so it at the end of the day, the whole narcissist thing it definitely gave me some positive gains from it.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes it's no. Some people don't know how to get over this. I know I've met people that's been in 25-year relationships with a cheating husband, had multiple kids, and they scared to like move on. Like, I mean, at some point,
They're just mentally trapped. And that's the thing. Like we said, they like to use the kids as a pool, like as a what am I trying to say?
they hold the kids hostage pretty much. That's what
there you go. And as just as the person, as the dad or father, whoever it is, mom or whoever it is, but I mainly notice it's mainly with a lot of males. They're afraid that the kid, will hate them or it's always, oh, well, I got this child, like I gotta say, but you don't. You really don't. If you go in and you do your research and you just mentally get yourself prepared for it, because God's never going to steer you wrong. Like if you take one path left when maybe you're supposed to go right, God still got a plan on that left side. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you just got to take it in for what it is and just have faith at the end of the day.
Yeah, your faith sometimes will put you in a fork in the road, but you got to know what lane you want to go down.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, if you don't have faith, you ain't gonna know which way to go anyway. So
absolutely,
that's why.
Because I think we can all say we have, as human beings, we're supposed to do this, but we did the opposite, and it might have not, turned out for the greater for us. But at the end of the day, we learned the lesson, and down the road, it's kind of like God, like revealed something or gave us something, maybe better than what we might have needed if we went that other if we did what we were supposed to do.
Exactly.
So it all falls on your face.
Yeah, it's exactly what you say. I mean, you have to have your faith within yourself and within God to even move forward on an everyday basis. Because I know people without purposes is just wasting their life on drugs, alcohol, swiping left, swiping right, no purpose. They feel like a woman gonna bring them joy, a man gonna bring them joy. It won't bring you joy. It should nothing should excite a person besides working on themselves. Like that should excite you every damn day you get up. Like I'm in control of my life. Like when you drinking and driving, you're smoking and driving, you're doing all these things, you're not in control. You think you're in control, but you're not, because if you get pulled over with the weed or pulled over with the drinking, you go to jail. You go have to spend multiple hours in community service or taking classes to pay the government and do dumb stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, that of not being in tune with yourself is always something that you know you got to look at yourself and just be happy for who you are and be grateful. A lot of people don't want to be grateful. They want to be point a finger and want everything to happen like a magic pill. You know, that's one thing about my channel. I know you guys. I always talk about self improvement. The channel is growing slowly because it's a lot of times people don't want to hear Stack 44 tell you to plan, purpose, program, stack attack your life, stack up your life. A lot of times y'all want to hear me tell you about, I mean, the people that are on my channel, the people that are my subscribers, they come over here for, real content of growing. But a lot of times people want to hear the I want to say the manipulation channels are growing faster and faster by the day because at the end of the day, nobody wants to build with their hands anymore. They want to just take their hand and hit a button and make sure everything go right. They want it to go fast. They don't want to the building blocks of life to make yourself grow as a man or a woman. They will want instant gratification. They don't believe in delayed gratification. And that's one of my next videos coming up is talking about delayed gratification and how you can build your life or who you are. What you thinking when you 20 something, it may take you 35 before you hit that goal of where you want to be in life. But at the same time, it's all about the mindset before the action happens. You can't have action and then have the mindset come second. The action got to come first. The cart can't come before the horse. The horse got to come before the cart. You feel me? And a lot of times we don't put in our mindset of what we really want to do, or we do it, but we don't put in the work. So, you know, I'm about to close. You got anything you want to add before we? Anything you feel like you could say to save somebody's life and save somebody by dealing with a narcissistic person? Like sometimes people are listening, but they know what they need to do. Do you got anything that you feel like you can say to help them move on from dealing with a narcissistic person or getting over it?
Just do your research, and have just, like I said, have faith and just know that there's something out there better, and you don't deserve that toxicity. Like it's not worth it. Nobody's worth your happiness, stealing your happiness. So that's all I got to say. Because my phone is actually about to die.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in. I appreciate you. At the end of the day, I know you helped somebody. Somebody's gonna hear this. Maybe not tonight, maybe not right now live. They'll hear this 6-7 months from now. And one thing I will say, YouTube did save my life by just even tuning into it and hearing other people's perspective made me think about my narcissistic behavior or the person I was dealing with was the narcissistic, that how I got over it by getting on YouTube, getting on reading books and doing stuff. So we lost the caller. Her phone probably died. But at the end of the day, end of the day, this is very important for us to do, So it's very important for us to know that we are in the head of our lives. We deal with people on a daily basis that are narcissistic, and we can't help that. We got to understand that we deal with a sickness in this world, and we have to look at it as if we can be above the influence, not part of the influence. Let's get away from worrying about what people think of us and realize what we think of ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we are in the days when we need to be the best versions of ourselves to understand how to deal with the world. And a narcissistic person is people that you see on a daily day basis. You see President Trump. He has very, very lots of narcissistic behaviors. A lot of times people are on the biggest platforms that we put on pedestals that are puppets for the industry, but they're narcissistic behavior to get you distracted from being the best version of you. You know, at the end of the day, we got to realize when you turn on the TV, you turn on the internet. If you're not learning something from it, it's taken away from who you are as a man or as a woman. You gotta when you turn on the TV, if you're not learning something from it or if it's not entertaining you. It's okay to be entertained for 2 hours, watch a basketball game, and uh, watch a movie and stuff like that. But most of the time, if it's not helping you to the point that you feel good about who you are as a man or took something from it, you gotta look at things and have things to take for something from. That's what I'm saying, guys. A lot of times we look at things and we don't get nothing out of it besides more delusion added on top of delusion. We gotta stop thinking with the delusional mindset and think with a purpose mindset. You know, like I always tell you guys, and I always keep saying it: plan, purpose, program. You versus you. A sensible man watches for problems and prepares to meet them. With that being said, I'm about to sit here and give out the line. I'm gonna go over the things about a narcissistic person you should know. First thing, they're liars. They're gonna always flip it, stories here and there. They can't even remember their stories they told you. The second thing, gaslighting. They may is always flipped around when they do something wrong to you, they flip it back on you. So watch the gaslighting. Number three, no accountability. They definitely don't have no accountability about their actions. And as a red pill man, I always tell you guys it's more women out there than men that have no accountability because society allows women not to have no accountability. I know guys that have custody of their child and they ex don't even pay child support. They don't go after them. But if it was the other way around, if it was a man, his ass would be in the jail. Or they will say, "Oh, he raped me," and then for come to find out she lying, then the man's life did destroyed while she don't even get nothing but maybe a tap on the wrist or nothing at all. So no accountability with the narcissistic. Number four, it's all about them. It always be about them. You know, no matter if it's a man or a woman, it's all about them because they want to be put on a pedestal so they can run a fuckery on you. Number five, you will never get closure. You know, you get with a person that got plenty of potential, and this is why you got to be the best version of yourself. Because when you're not the best version of yourself, you put people on a pedestal, you put people past your own self, and that's why I say it's all about them, and you never have closure because you'll never have closure because you had a Jay-Z moment in your head when you thought this woman was gonna be this and that before you ask her what her name is. I don't know if y'all remember that "Excuse Me, Miss" video. He thought all this shit about being with that woman before he even asked her who she really was and everything. So stop putting people on a pedestal before you even know who they are. Number six, they're in competition with you and they're always jealous of you. So make sure you go ahead and understand that it's you guys. If you be with a person, you want somebody to be with you, compliment you, not complicate you. Not somebody that's got to be over the top. Somebody got to have this, somebody got to have that. That's your person that person that don't love themselves. And if you love yourself, you'll recognize that on a person. Number seven, they are cheaters and cop blockers. A lot of times people would get married and go cheat and still cheat. And a lot of times I hate to say it, but man, we do this more than women. We get married to a woman to stop her from doing what she could do, and we go out and do what we do. If you're going to deal with a woman and you're going to deal with great energy, if you're going to deal with one woman, just be a one woman man. And if you're going to be a player, then run a rotation and be honest about it. You ain't got to lie if you're real alpha. If you're a real man, Do that. Don't do the narcissistic thing is reel a person in and then do what the hell you want to do. Not right, not good. And at the end of the day, you'll reap what you sow, because when you reap a person in like that, somebody else gonna get you the same way later down the line. Karma's a bitch. All right, number 8. They got financial problems. Sometimes we are all recovering from financial problems from somebody we deal with, somebody we roomed with, somebody we grew a life with. And those financial problems sometimes hunt us for after the relationship, maybe 1 or 2 years down the line after we deal with a person. But at the end of the day, we gotta, you know, understand that it's our problem because we allowed it to happen. We gotta take accountability. We have to change it and watch who we deal with on the next. We got to deal with people that's equally yoked to us and understand finances, understand your spiritual, your mental, and everything. You shouldn't even want to give a woman sex or give a man sex until you understand these persons on that same wavelength as you. So remember that before you get into financial infatuation. That's what I call it. Last but not least, like I said, they're very good in the bedroom, these narcissistic people. They know how to will you in to get you trapped. So don't allow sexual activity to trap you. So with that being said, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to Stack and Tack Sundays. If you didn't get here with the live stream, I thank you for watching the playback. It will playback be back on the channel, and then next week we'll be on a live stream doing another Stack Attack Sunday. Will be the fourth in a row. And I love hearing more people call in. And this is a platform for you guys as my subscribers to call in and ask me anything you want to ask me about the topic or talk about the topic and touch on it. And it could be multiple callers. It don't have to be one caller. It could be multiple people call in. So make sure, if you see this playback, you feel like calling in and touching on the subject, this is your opportunity to touch base and be on the show with Stack Attack or Stack 44 on Stack Attack Sundays. But with that being said, I want you guys to stack attack your life. I want you to stack up your life. Watch out for these narcissistic people in the world. They're growing by the day. And I'll holler at you guys on the next week's live stream. Holler at you guys later. Peace.